Amanda by Robin Klein. Amanda is a poem written by Robin Klein, a poetess from Australia. This poem is very interesting and talks about two perspectives. One of an elder, probably a mother, who scolds her child for not doing things properly. And the child, on the other hand, seems to be nagged and tortured. This is a poem that talks about the experiences that each and every child goes through while growing up. In this poem, a girl named Amanda is always directed by her mother to do things or behave properly. The girl, on the contrary, she doesn't like that. She seems that she is nagged all the time. And this poem reminded me of my growing up age when my mother used to tell me to do something or to behave properly, not to walk with noise, likewise to eat with mouth closed. It seemed to be a lot of nagging in it. This girl also feels so. And what does she do? She escapes into a world of imagination. You all being in this age will be able to relate easily to Amanda. So this is how the poem begins. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. So, as we can understand from the lines, an elder is commanding Amanda, and most probably it should be her mother. The mother tells the girl not to bite her nails because it is a very bad habit, a very unhygienic habit to bite your nails. The society does not approve of that kind of habit. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Another direction she gives is don't hunch. Hunch means bend your shoulders, like the picture given here. You know, walking like this is not at all good. This is not a good posture. So she tells her daughter not to hunch her shoulders. Stop that slouching and sit up straight. Slouching means sit in a lazy manner. So her mother commands her daughter not to sit as if in a very lazy manner. Sit up straight. Have a good posture because that is good for the body as well as look like she is energetic. Otherwise, it gives her very lazy look. So all these directions are given by the mother, more of a physical directions that should be followed. And in the parenthesis, in the brackets again, there are the thoughts of the girl that is given in the brackets. So her mother speaks, she doesn't speak back, but she thinks in her mind. There is a languid emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. So she imagines herself to be near a sea or in a sea which is emerald in color. Emerald is a stone, as you know, which is green in color. So she imagines to be a sea that is green in color, meaning very beautiful color. A sea that is languid. Languid meaning relaxed. And in that sea, she is the sole inhabitant, like a mermaid drifting blissfully. So she thinks that she is a mermaid. You know what a mermaid is? It's an imaginary woman with a tail of a fish, drifting blissfully. Drifting means moving slowly over the water, blissfully happy. So she's so tired of her mother's nagging. She's so tired of her mother's directions. She thinks that she imagines herself to be a mermaid who is the sole inhabitant in that sea, so that there is nobody to disturb her. So in this lines, if you look at the literary devices, the rhyming scheme is A, Amanda, Amanda, Amanda. Then straight is the only word that does not rhyme here. So B, then C, me, Lee. So again C, C, C. Then the another literary device used is anaphora. Anaphora means the repetition of the first words in the beginning of sentences. So these are kinds of literary devices that poets use so that there is emphasis. So don't bite, don't punch. So there is anaphora. Then as you know, metaphor is there. Emerald sea is Emerald sea is a metaphor. Metaphor is a figure of speech. When you compare two things indirectly, it is called metaphor. So the green color of the emerald is compared with the green color of the sea. Then moving on to the next slide. In the next stanza, again there are a lot of directions. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. So again, if in the first stanza it was all about physical things, physical movement, physical gestures, here it is all about doing things. And all these are things that we always hear at home. All these things are things that our mothers tell us all the time. Did you finish your homework? Did you tidy your room? I told you to clean your shoes and you still haven't. So again, the mother is giving directions to the girl. And what is her thought again? She says, I am an orphan roaming the street. I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. The silence is golden. The freedom is sweet. So she imagines herself to be an orphan. Why? Because orphans don't have parents. There is no one to command her. There are no one to order them. So she imagines herself to be an orphan. She's so fed up with her mother's nagging that she says that, oh, I want to be an orphan so that there will be no one to control me. Roaming the street. I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. I don't have shoes on my bare feet. Usually, parents don't allow us to walk without shoes. So here, being an orphan, there is no one else to look after this. She imagines herself to draw patterns on the soft mud with her hushed bare feet. Hushed means quiet, bare feet. Bare means without covering. And she says the silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. The silence is golden because she is an orphan. There is no one else to shout at her. So now there is silence all around. And she says the silence is golden. So good. Freedom is sweet. She wants to enjoy freedom. This freedom is sweet, she says. Again, you have anaphora here. Did you finish? Did you tidy your room? Beginning with the same words. In the next stanza, again, it begins with a lot of instructions. Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Will you please look at me when I'm speaking to you, Amanda? So again, the mother orders her. She is a young girl, so she likes to eat chocolates. Like us, she likes to eat chocolates. And her mother says, don't eat that chocolate. Remember your acne. Acne is the pimple that comes up. So from this we can understand that she has started her adolescence. When you are very young, you don't have acne on your face, but when you start growing up, maybe around your 10 years, 11 years, acne first starts appearing on your face. So when you start eating a lot of oily things, what happens? A lot or many acne comes up. So her mother tells, remember your acne, don't eat chocolate. Then she says, will you please look at me when I am speaking to you, Amanda? Again, this is something that always we hear. Parents tell us, I'm speaking to you, look at me. And what happens to her again? She again drifts back into imagination. She doesn't say, but she imagines herself to be a Rapunzel. You know who Rapunzel is? Rapunzel is a character in the fairy tale, in which Rapunzel is a girl, a beautiful girl with long hair. She is closed up in a tower. A witch looks after her. Now she has to drop her hair outside. The witch would climb up on her hair and come inside the tower. There is no door to the tower. So that is the story of Rapunzel, which you have heard or learned in your childhood. She says, I am a Rapunzel. I am lonely and I have not a care. I don't care. Life in a tower is tranquil and rare. Tranquil means peaceful. I love to be in a tower like Rapunzel, because the life in a tower is tranquil, is peaceful and rare. You don't live in a tower always. She says, I want to be a Rapunzel. I want to be all alone. I will certainly never let down my bright hair. I don't want anybody coming into my tower. So what will I do? I won't put my hair down, bright hair down like Rapunzel. And coming to the last stanza, there is a change, an unexpected change. The mother says, stop that sulking at once, Amanda. You are always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. So her mother gives her orders, and what is her facial expression? She is very silent. Sulking means very silent and bad-tempered, out of annoyance. And all of a sudden her mother looks at her and says, stop sulking at once. Why are you showing that kind of bad-tempered face? You're always so moody. And anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. Anyone would think that I have harassed you. That is your facial expression. The mother even doesn't even realize that Amanda is feeling so tortured, feeling so irritated because of her mother's directions. Her mother doesn't realize that her child is going through such a difficult phase. So this poem reminds us or talks about the experience of growing up. When you come to this age, when you start your early adolescence, you don't want anybody directing you. When your teachers tell you to do that, do this, you are so irritated. You feel so harassed. You feel so tortured. But the truth is, like this mother wants the child to grow up to be a beautiful young woman, acceptable in society. That is why she says, don't bite your nails, because those are bad habits that are never accepted in the society. So she keeps order so that the child grows up. So when our parents or teachers tells us to do things, they expect that the good of us, not that we become bad. At the same time, this age is like that, where we find all these kinds of directions torturous, or as if we are nagged. So it's a very beautiful poem that throws light upon the experience of growing up. This is something that everyone goes through, every child goes through.